water is the basis of life. Our planet called the blue planet because it has a numerous amount of water and covers 70% of Earth's surface. This water can freeze into ice or evaporate into the air, but it will not leave our planet. So by this means there is no shortage of water in our planet. But 97% of the water exists in the planet is salty water. Also 2% of it is trapped as ice in the poles as a frozen fresh water. So humanity rely on 1% of liquid fresh water. In addition to the fact that not all people have equal access to this small percentage. So the real problem is not really the scarcity of water in planet Earth, but the access to safe fresh water. This availability varied a lot with different geolocation, as some countries such as Kuwait has the lowest water per capita with only 5 cubic meter per person per year, compared to other countries such as Canada with 79,000 cubic meter per person per year. United Arab Emirates, one of the countries that is located in an arid region with extreme natural water scarcity, with only 16 cubic meter per person per year. The watering of agriculture, forestry, and parks are the major water consuming in Abu Dhabi, which count for more than 70% of the total water demand, despite the fact that this sector is only contributed to less than 1% of the Emirates' GDP. 60% of this sector watering is coming from ground wells. This heavy reliance on already scarce groundwater resources, mainly for irrigation in agriculture and afforestation, has resulted in threatening changes to groundwater quality and quantity. That's why Abu Dhabi Vision 2030 focuses on the conservation of water resources and their efficient management. Our case study is Al Khalij Al Arabi Street within the city of Abu Dhabi, which consider one of the main streets which recently renovated and crossing the southern part of Abu Dhabi Island, from southern east to the northern west, ending up at Abu Dhabi Corniche, and has a continuous landscape zones along with the road, changing from only streetscape to an open public green spaces and parks. The irrigation system network has been designed following the ADM irrigation systems design manual, and the targeted water demand criteria is 2 liters per square meter per day for the sideway green areas along with the street, and 4 liters per square meter per day for the parks and public realm areas, following DBM Public Realm Design Manual and Istidama guidelines. The required water has been provided as recycled water from treated sewage effluent network, coming from treatment plant in Al Mafraq area. But for the edible plants such as dates, palms, potable water has been used to meet authority requirements for agricultural production. Through the first site visit on Wednesday 14 October 2020 early morning, the components of the site has been identified as the following: car parking areas, streetscape, cycle track, walking roads, public parks with recreational areas including kids' playgrounds, sitting areas along the seaside, and the applied irrigation system is mainly a drip irrigation loop system with isolation valves for maintenance and security. Except of the lawn areas, match precipitated sprayers has been used to ensure the uniformity of the irrigation throughout the lawn area. Different types of plants and trees has been identified, such as date palm trees, turf grass, Syzygium, Penicetum, Adenium, Alghaf, Asdaracht, and Bougainvillea. And through the second site visit on Sunday 18 October 2020 early morning, a set of problems has been identified. Inappropriate plant pallet selection. Plants has different watering demand, so in order to control the water demand of an area, a proper plant selection is required. And during the visual visit, some highly watering demand plants has been specified, such as lawn, Syzygium, and Penicetum. Alternatively, A proper plant selection palette consists of native plants, adaptive and saline-tolerant plants with low water demand. In addition to that, it is also important to propose surface ground cover alternatives to loam, such as rock and gravel, stabilized sand, stabilized granite, and wooden mulch. Secondly, inappropriate plant distribution. As one area have different plants with different watering demand, which means that the supplied irrigation system has been designed to meet the higher requirements, which lead to overwatering and increase the peak watering demand, instead of having cluster of plants with similar water demand, which can significantly cut the peak watering demand and easily provide the proper watering requirement to the targeted plants. Third, high planting density. Over-designed densities of planting can lead to highly demanding site per square meter, instead of adequate design, which can achieve the balance between ecological diversity, aesthetical factors, without compromising acceptable irrigation and maintenance demand rates. Fourth, wrong irrigation timing. The site visit indicate lawn sprayers working during the midday when the evaporation rate is very high, which causes a significant loss of water. Alternatively, a proper irrigation timing schedule with seasonal shifting should apply to ensure avoiding unnecessary water loss by evaporation due to wrong irrigation timing. Exposed to sun. Vast open areas with irrigation pipes totally exposed to the sun, causing more water loss due to evaporation, instead of providing more shaded soil surface by trees and shading devices. Also by applying mulch, such as wooden mulch, to the soil surface to reduce of the tense solar exposure and its related evaporation water loss. Water spill outside the targeted area. The site visit indicate a lot of water irrigation spill out of the targeted area due to inappropriate irrigation sprayers distribution and implementation. Alternatively, proper design and distribution in addition to continuous calibration is required to avoid such waste of water. Finally, far source of irrigation water. The longer the distribution network is, the higher potential it has of losing water due to leakage. Abu Dhabi State of Environment Report 2017 stated that distribution networks are responsible for 21% of water losses in Abu Dhabi Emirates. In this study case, the design documents indicate consideration of 7% water loss through water transition, and the supplied treated water comes from Al Mafraq wastewater treatment plant, with capacity of 50,000 cubic meter per day, far away from the case study location by 36 km. This far distance increasing the possibility of water loss during the distribution. Alternatively, future arrangement could provide treated water from nearby offices buildings to be used directly to adjacent urban landscape and streetscape, avoiding a significant water loss potential due to leakage and reducing the maintenance requirement. In addition to the initial cost of establishing the necessary networks, also increasing the sense of belonging of neighborhood.
Lack of soil treatment. Soil with low maintenance could dry easily and lose the nutrient values, which making it harder to the plant to adapt. In terms of water conservation, a moisture retention solution can be added to the soil in order to enhance its capability of keeping the water within the soil body and give it to the plants when it's needed. Inappropriate irrigation pipes design. Wrong design of the irrigation pipes has a side effect on the water conservation. Also, in some cases, part of the soil could get drier due to the wrong sprinkles distribution. To make sure that we have a proper design of the irrigation pipes, we could apply head-to-head pipes design by placing the sprinkles in equal distances. Obstructions. Getting the sprinkles and tippers blocked will cause water gathering around the head, and the lawn will show stress where the water should be reaching. Using a taller pop-up head will fix this problem. Optimized solutions. In order to overcome the identified problems, so a combination of good practices is the answer, such as plant selection, distribution, and adequate planting densities, in addition to efficient irrigation system that had the ability to deliver a proper amount of treated water at the right time. Therefore, a solar-powered smart irrigation system has been suggested as an optimized solution for an efficient irrigation system. It is a combination of advanced technologies that have the ability to sense the soil moisture and nutrient contents as well as outdoor conditions such as temperature, humidity, sun radiation, then automatically adjusting the water level and timing according to the localized situations and the plant care database. The system consists of processor with actuators for control the watering valves, soil sensor to sense the moisture content of the soil, weather sensor collect real-time data for the micro-weather conditions, internet gateway to provide internet connection, PV system to power up the components without the need to be connected to the grid, portable smart device such as a tablet with a smart application to control and monitor the system. An experimental field study has been carried out as a part of dissertation study at the British University in Dubai, showing reduction in the water use of 21% in September and 26% in November. Participants number. For further investigation and in order to collect more reliable data, 4 sets of questions have been prepared and spread out for over than 250% from different sectors, and yet we received 91 responses as the following: 46 responses from public, 14 responses from decision makers, 15 responses from retailers, 16 responses from landscape managers. By analyzing the obtained answers, we can see the following. In the questions of why do we have water scarcity in the UAE, 24% of public considered limited natural resources is the cause of water scarcity in the UAE, and surprisingly, pretty close results received from other sectors, including decision makers, retailers, and landscapers. When we asked people to rate the irrigation system in the UAE efficient or not, the result reflected high confidence in the already existing system, as 70% of the public considered the irrigation system in the UAE is efficient, and higher portion of 83% from the decision makers. Also, 78% of retailers and 76% of landscape managers agree that the system is efficient, which make it more difficult to promote new solutions for what is already considered as an efficient system and highlight the importance of awareness raising. But when we asked the public about the challenges of the urban landscape irrigation in the UAE, the bigger portion of 23% goes with climate conditions as the main challenge. Also, landscape managers selected climate conditions with 26%. On the other hand, decision makers goes more with salinity with 21%, as it's already noticeable for them, especially in Abu Dhabi Island, in addition to equal portion for both soil type and climate conditions, close to 17%. Second question: what are the solutions to improve irrigation? And the higher portion of 16% of public selected native plants, and almost similar percentage of group for using treated sewage water. Also, decision makers emphasized the importance of native plants by near to 20%, and similarly for drip irrigation. For retailers, they selected native plant selection with almost 20%, but also 17% for proper scheduling of the irrigation. So, these results highlight the importance of the aim for more efficient irrigation system for less demanding landscape. When the suggested solutions has been proposed and asked if they think this technology could enhance the efficiency of the irrigation system, well, the majority of public with more than 90% showed positivity and they can see the potential enhancement. And surprisingly, a great portion of decision makers considered such a technology can enhance the efficiency. Around 87% of landscape management agree that this system has the potential of irrigation efficiency enhancement. How would contribute? Well, 40% of public would contribute by promoting it through social media, and 25% would suggest it to landscapers, while 35% of decision makers would include it in a green assessment, and 85% of retailers would trade in the system, and 41% of landscape managers will collaborate with different governmental entities. What are the expected barriers that could be faced in the UAE? The higher portion of public selected the cost with 21%. The decision makers emphasize more maintenance and after service with only 17%. 40% of landscape managers still with the high cost, while retailers 18% has selected the high cost. So finally, what are the enablers to make this technology work? Well, the higher portion of public, close to 23%, selected governmental incentive, as well as decision makers with 18% has selected government incentive, and interestingly, noticeable portion goes with ongoing improvement research. Also, it could be expected that retailers select effective marketing as the enabler with high portion of 18%. But landscape manager went more with the availability and easy purchasing plans with 28% as it's a part of their usual task. Finally, when we ask about any other suggestion to make solar smart irrigation successful, some asking for more researches and development. Also, another claim that it should be more simple to work efficiently.